A terrible event changed many people's lives on July 5, 1970. At 7:17 a.m. Air Canada Flight 621 with 100 passengers and 9 crew members left Montreal, Quebec. The flight was en route to Los Angeles, California with a stopover at what is now known as Torrance to Pearson International Airport. As the airplane approached the airport, the right wing struck the ground during its descent. The pilot was able to pull up to a height of 900 meters, 3,000 feet, and fly away from the airport in the north. At approximately 8 a.m., the engines on the wing exploded, the right wing fell away, and the airplane crashed to the ground in this former farm field in the village of Castlemore 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers, north of the airport. 109 people perished. Summary of the crash. Air Canada Flight 621 was a scheduled domestic passenger flight from Montreal to Los Angeles with a stop in Toronto. On July 5, 1970, the DC-8 aircraft crashed during its approach to Toronto Pearson International Airport. The crash occurred due to a premature deployment of the thrust reversers during landing, which caused the aircraft to lose control and crash into a field near the airport. Sequence of events. 1. Approach to Toronto. The flight was on its final approach to Toronto Pearson International Airport. The weather was clear, and there were no reported mechanical issues with the aircraft. Premature thrust reverser deployment. During the landing flare, the final phase of landing, the captain inadvertently deployed the thrust reversers on one engine while the aircraft was still in the air. This caused a sudden loss of lift and thrust asymmetry, making the aircraft difficult to control. Go-around attempt. Realizing the error, the crew attempted a go-around, aborted landing, by applying full power. However, the thrust reverser deployment had already destabilized the aircraft. Cause of the crash. The crash was attributed to pilot error. The captain had a habit of deploying the thrust reversers during the landing flare to reduce landing distance, a practice that was against standard operating procedures. On this flight, the thrust reversers were deployed prematurely while the aircraft was still in the air, leading to a loss of control. Loss of control and crash. The aircraft pitched up sharply, stalled, and then plunged into a field approximately 4.5 kilometers, 2.8 miles, short of the runway. The impact caused an explosion and fire, destroying the aircraft and killing all 109 people on board. Aftermath and impact. The crash of Air Canada Flight 621 remains one of the deadliest aviation disasters in Canadian history. The investigation led to changes in aviation safety protocols, including stricter enforcement of standard operating procedures and improved training for pilots regarding the use of thrust reversers. A memorial was erected near the crash site in Brampton to honor the victims.